Get ready for a big shift in our weather pattern across central Oregon. Ultimately, we're looking at accumulating snow in the lower elevations with heavy mountain snow across the Cascades, all the way through Oregon and even Washington. So we're about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Hey everyone, my name's Darrell Winninger, Chief Meteorologist at Central Oregon Daily News. And through the day, it's been chilly. We started off with some sprinkles and flurries, even some snow in parts of our lower elevations. We're talking the east slopes of the Cascades, so Sisters, Sun River, Three Rivers, Lapine. That's where we saw some of that snow sticking to the road. Outside of that, it's been like this. We've had a whole lot of cloud cover, but here through the last couple of hours, we've started to get some clearing. Look at that view, especially Lake Billy Chinook and Batcher at the top of Outback. Looking at the Outback lift line, that is just breathtaking. Now, through the next couple of days, a lot of these mountain cameras are not going to be usable because with that active weather pattern that's right around the corner. In fact, when we go ahead and just look at the winter storm impact through the next 3 days, this includes today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we're looking at major impacts through the passes and a few of the highest elevations of the Cascades. We're talking the Three Sisters peaks. That's where we could be seeing some extreme impacts, but also keep in mind that we still have a little bit left to go after this, and it's going to continue through Wednesday night, getting into Thursdays when it finally starts to let up. And because of this system that's even bringing some minor impacts to the lower elevations, we are looking at some high snow totals in the Cascades. In the lower elevations, those minor impacts include some accumulating snow. So let's go ahead and just focus on that weather alerts across the entire state. We have a series of winter-related weather alerts from a wind advisory all the way to this winter storm warning. But when we dive in and take a closer look, the winter storm warning includes a series of them for the east and west slopes of the Cascades. On the east slopes of the Cascades and parts of central Oregon, we're looking at 12 to 30 inches of new snow expected with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. This goes into effect overnight. So Tuesday at 4 a.m. all the way till 4 p.m. Thursday. Now, even though we're going to have this winter storm warning, remember, we like to issue these and put them in effect way ahead of it until it's almost done, and that's just to give people enough time to know what's going on. So the mountain snow starts by Tuesday morning and midday hours. By Tuesday evening, some of that snow begins to filter down into the lower elevations. And just a quick look at some of those snow totals. Parts of the high desert, the lowest elevations getting a trace of 4 inches. Now, between Redmond, Sisters, Bend, and going into those higher elevations, we're looking at 1 to 5 inches. Between Lava Butte and you might be able to say parts of Deschutes River Woods, all the way through Lapine, it's more like 4 to 10 inches of snow. And when we go ahead and just focus on some of those passes, 1 to 2 feet are expected for Diamond Lake Junction and Willamette Pass. Getting up into Sandy Ann Pass, we're looking at 1 to 2 feet. We could actually see 3 feet in some of the higher elevations around here. So we're talking Three Finger Jack in that area in the parts of that area, so not necessarily just on the mountain, but also in the wilderness around Three Finger Jack. Look at Mount Jefferson. We're looking at getting into the white category, which is 5+ feet, which is also what we're looking at with Hood, where they're expecting 1.5 feet all the way up to 2.5, maybe 3 feet as well. And so heavy mountain snow is expected with some light totals in our lower elevations. Right now, doesn't look too bad. Earlier today, we had some slick roads out there. Now going forward through the rest of this evening and tonight, this clearing, these in and out clouds are going to continue. But when we just peek up into the Cascades, we have Willamette Pass, Sandy Ann Pass, and Government Camp, wet roads, and temperatures already below freezing. So some black ice is expected, some slick spots on the road, and there's already areas of fog up there. Now, Century Drive on the way to Bachelor, on the way up to Bachelor, there's already snow on the road too. And in the last couple of hours, we've been seeing those clouds thinning out across central Oregon. Does that mean we're done? No, that just means one system is rolling out, and it's going to be a little bit before that next system rolls in. So when we look at and you know what? I'm going to come back to this graphic. Let's go ahead and just start off. I didn't want to go straight to enhanced satellite imagery. This one's a blend of visible and infrared satellite with radar on top of it, and you can see where that clearing line line is, you can also see further out over the East Pacific Ocean where that next cold front is. Now, let's go ahead and go back and look at the enhanced infrared satellite imagery. So we're taking off the visible and the precipitation. Let's start off with zooming in. We can see that those clouds are really thinning out from lower level to upper level, just pretty much all of them. So after the precipitation fizzles out, we're getting our clearing. And another thing to notice when I zoom out just a little bit more, those white lines, those isobars, those are equal lines of pressure, constant lines of constant pressure, I should say. And when they start to get really tight next to each other, it's breezy. The tighter they are, the closer they are to each other, the stronger the winds are. Right now, a little breezy at times, not bad at all. But look at the bigger picture, and we can see that with this next cold front coming in, the one out over the Pacific Ocean, those isobars are tightly stacked. And that steep gradient is what we call it. That is where it's just strong wind. So as one system rolls out, another system rolling in, the break between systems continues tonight and goes into Tuesday. By Tuesday evening, we're getting snow even in our lower elevations. At first, it could start off as a wintry mix, but a lot of this activity is rolling around the outside of this ridge of high pressure, and since it's way out over the Pacific Ocean, it's not really in a position to where it's going to help us out. It's actually pumping that moisture right into our neck of the woods. So switching over to water vapor and pressure, this is satellite imagery and surface pressure, we do see that slot of dry air coming into the region, but by tomorrow, increasing clouds, and then the next active pattern begins. So let's time that out for you here through the next couple of hours. Those in and out clouds continue overnight. Then Tuesday, we get more clouds. Through Tuesday, some rain and snow showers are expected, but really Tuesday night is when we start seeing the heavy mountain snow. It continues with some snow filtering into the lower elevations. Then by Wednesday, another wave of moisture. More widespread snow is expected. This is when we're getting the bulk of our accumulations. And then by the time we get to Thursday, another shift in our weather pattern. So by this evening at 11 o'clock, we are looking at still some sprinkles and a few flurries. And some of that could be coming down into the lower elevation, specifically around Lava Butte. And then Tuesday morning, some areas of patchy ice. There is a potential for some freezing fog overnight and a refreeze of the precipitation that fell and what melted through the day. So some patchy ice possible through most of Tuesday, though green, so wet roads. And even right now, look at Sun River. We have high relative humidity. It's also high in La Pine, so some of those pockets of fog are definitely expected. And within those pockets of fog, through tonight, some flurries, even some freezing drizzle are in the forecast. Now, high temperatures today really topped out in the 40s and some 30s, and that was after we started to see a little bit of that clearing. Currently, we're still in the 30s and 40s. Tonight, we're falling back down into the 20s, but already temperatures are running between 2 and 8 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago. So lows will be in the 20s by tomorrow, reaching into the 40s before this next system rolls in. So that's a little prefrontal warming. And then fast forward to Thursday at 11 p.m. That's when we'll have had heavy mountain snow and a high pressures building back into the region. That high is going to be our friend by Friday and Saturday. Now, snow showers, the best chance of them late Tuesday through the midday hours of Thursday. During that time, it's getting pretty chilly. It's also going to be gusty. So when we look at our forecast model, we do see that the next wave of moisture rolls in Tuesday during the afternoon and evening hours. We've already seen this one, but this is not the high-resolution forecast model. It's the long-range one, and it's showing pretty much the same thing. And when models line up, there's a good chance it's going to happen. Even through Wednesday, mostly snow showers, and then by Thursday, a little bit more before we get that clearing. By Friday and Saturday, a mixture of sunshine with some clouds, and Sunday, we get clipped by a little bit of precipitation that we're back to more sunshine to start next week. So between now and Friday at noon, we are looking at heavy mountain snow with trace to 4 inches for most of the high desert, 4 to 10 inches for some parts of the Tri-County area. And so some parts of Central Oregon are going to have to break out their shovels for the first time. And the way it rolls in is not so much Tuesday night, but through Wednesday is when we really start to see a lot of those accumulations. We'll start to see snow that accumulated by Wednesday morning, but a lot more falls through through the day on Wednesday, and then by Thursday we're starting to clear out. So between now and Sunday at 5 p.m., most of the snow is coming in the next 3 days, the next 72 hours. And so ultimately we are expecting more precipitation. Just right now we're not seeing too much of anything across the high desert. And as we go forward, winds are going to get gusty. So right now gusts are not significant at all. In fact, actual wind speeds are about 2 to 12 miles per hour. Now through the overnight hours, we stay mostly at a light breeze. By tomorrow, it's getting breezy, even gusty at times. By Wednesday, it's staying gusty at times. And then by Thursday, we're just breezy. So for tonight, 20s with a few teens and 30s out there. By Tuesday, we're topping out in the 40s with some 30s on the map. Rain and snow showers start up. Snow starts to roll in overnight. Then we're in an active pattern with snow accumulation even in our lower elevations and heavy mountain snow. Friday and Saturday, that's our next break between systems with a weak one rolling through on Sunday. So here's a quick look at your weather headlines for this Monday, January the 5th. Cold and some clearing tonight. Already happening. Check. Snow moves in late Tuesday. Stronger winds, slick roads, and accumulations are in the forecast. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News.